Hi, I am John from Just Whiskey. If you like this show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And thanks so much for the few Patreons that I do have that help support this channel. Much appreciated. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. A while back, I did a mini showdown of some Taliskers. And one of the commenters kind of nudged me last week and said, "Hey, you talked about doing some other comparisons. When are they going to come up?" So I'm going to do a few Talisker shows, but I need to break them up. So today we're going to be doing kind of a quick run through of Talisker Storm. Okay, non-age stated, and as with the exception of the cast strength or almost cast strengths, almost all Taliskers are the same ABV, 45.8%. No mention of chill filtering, no mention of coloring. Okay, so we're going to be doing a quick comparison of the Storm, Talisker Storm, which I have not reviewed yet. Okay, so this will be like a little mini review bonus thrown in here. The Talisker Surge, which is a travel retail exclusive. And then Talisker Dark Storm, which comes in a 1 liter bottle, which is also a travel retail exclusive. And then the classic Talisker 10. What I'm going to do for upcoming shows, I don't know if I'm going to piggyback them or space them in between other reviews. But what I will be doing soon is with this set here that I have a sample of a Talisker Distillers Edition that was bottled in 2015. And the Talisker Distillers Edition in this one was bottled in 2014. So I'm going to compare two Distillers Editions. Okay, and then, so I'm assuming this whole sample pack was from 2014. I bought it a few years ago from the UK. So, so the Talisker 57 cast strength has long been discontinued. So this is an older sample set. But in it is also an older version of Talisker 10. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'll compare two older Talisker Distillers Editions. Then I'm going to compare the older Talisker 10 to the newer Talisker 10. That'll be a separate show. And then I will do another show with the Talisker 57 North, which is cast strength. And I'll compare that to the two cast strength Diageo special releases. We'll find out which one is the best of those three. That should be manageable. And then you're saying, John, what about Talisker 18? Well, what I'm going to do is compare Talisker 18 to Lacheg 18. Okay, that should be interesting. And they are different, and I do have a favorite. So we'll find out when that happens. And you might ask, you say, John, you're going to be comparing four Taliskers. Why is there 5 glasses and one of them is more like a Capita glass? Well, in this is just a little bit of Talisker 18. Okay, so at the end, I'm just going to give my thoughts on that compared to these. All right, so just a quick run through. We're going to start off with the Talisker Storm, and I can still find this in my area for around $40, but also in my area, other stores, I'm seeing this almost doubling to $70 to $80. And as I mentioned in a previous review, the Talisker 10, I just picked up a couple of more for $50. But one of the stores that I do business with, the price has doubled. Now Talisker 10 is $100. And sitting right next to it is the new Talisker 18, the new packaging Talisker 18, for $150. So, like what's already happened in the UK, Talisker 18, I guess prices have almost doubled a few months ago. So if you see a Talisker 10 for $50 or $60 and you like Talisker 10, pick it up. If you see a Talisker 18, I can still find them for $140 to $150. If you like Talisker 18, pick one up or two, because I think prices are gonna, once they have to resupply, I think prices are gonna start getting crazy. All right, and speaking of prices, really quick, I've already covered the Surge before, and I covered the Dark Storm, both travel retail. The Surge, I believe, was going for about 85 pounds, okay, and the Dark Storm was about, I believe, around 60 or 65 pounds, but it comes in a 1 liter bottle, this one does. And again, the regular Storm, I can still find it for around 40, but I'm also seeing it for $70 and $80. The Talisker 10, I can still find it for 50, but I'm also seeing it for 60, 70, 80, 90, $100. I don't know what's going on there. All right, finally, let's get into the nosing and the tasting. We're going to start off with the Storm. And I'm going to be like bouncing around a little bit, okay? So in the nose, this Storm has a really nice, rich nose. And I'm going to just do a kind of a comparison to the Dark Storm. The Dark Storm nose is different and a little bit more subdued compared to the Surge. I mean, this this is why I get nervous doing these. The Storm. If I make some bloopers and I say Surge instead of Storm, bear with me. All right, so we're talking about the Storm, comparing it to the Dark Storm. So on the nose, and I had to take some notes, right, just to kind of. So on the nose, the Storm reminds me a little bit of that Ardbeg peaty smoke. Okay, it's rich, sweet, fruity. Okay, whereas the Dark Storm, I notice it's a little more subdued, a little less peat, believe it or not, even though it's Dark Storm, and things that just seemed a little more compressed in the Dark Storm. Okay, palates. Talisker Storm. It's nice. Sweet, light fruits. Oak spice, pepper. It's a little bit light, but it's nice. And that oak spice and pepperiness are more prominent in the Storm. I would say the finish is a medium plus, but you're definitely left with peppery oak spice, and there are some decent fruits in there as well. Now, a quick little sip of water. The Dark Storm. Again, the nose is a little bit more subdued. I'm noticing some herbalness in this, some jalapeno peppers, some sweet chili peppers in it. But it's also, compared to the Dark Storm, compared to the Storm, the Dark Storm is drier, more astringent, herbaceous, and everything else I described in there. So it's different. out of these two, and forget about price, but I'm kind of leaning towards just the Storm. Okay. All right, now we're going to go with the Surge, which I've previously reviewed, and it's very nice. Non-age stated. And this is the most, out of all the Taliskers I've had, this is the most un-Talisker that I've had, if that makes any sense. So I've reviewed it before, so I'm just gonna it's not smoky, it's not really peaty. The Surge has got some chalkiness to it, some sweetness to it. A sweeter jalapeno, pepper. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of complexity, a lot to discover in this, and I'm kind of moving things along here. Very enjoyable, but it's kind of an oddball in my opinion. I think there's some older juice in here. I say oddball, not that it's odd. It's just that it's kind of an outlier, in my opinion, in the Talisker family, in a good way. In a good way. All right, now to the classic Talisker 10. Yeah, what can I say? I mean, I love Talisker 10. I voted it my whiskey of the year for a peated whiskey of the year last year, I believe. Yeah, the Talisker 10 just has so much going on, a lot of complexity. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Check out my previous review. I've reviewed Talisker 10 before. I've compared it to these two before. I've compared it to Lecheg 10 before. So you can check out those reviews. Yeah, for $50 or $60 all day long, it's a recommended buy. If you like mildly peated, smoky, integrated offerings, Talisker 10. Now, all right. Yeah, I'll tell you, I like the Surge. So, in the order of preference here, I like them all. My least favorite of these four would be the Dark Storm. Okay. Then my second least favorite, okay, going up would be the Talisker Storm. So I like the Talisker Storm over the Dark Storm. Then it just leaves the Surge versus the 10. Very difficult because they're two completely different, not completely different, but two different animals. So Surge would be, out of the four, my next one up. And my favorite out of these is the Talisker 10. So, if that got confusing, I'll recap. Out of these four, Talisker 10 is my number one. My number two would be the Surge. My number three would be the Storm. And my number four would be the Dark Storm. This is the tasting based on today, my mood. It could change if tomorrow I put these all in a blind. It could be different. Now, the Talisker 18. How does that compare, generally speaking? Okay. Talisker 18 is completely different than any of these in that on the nose, candied fruits, juicy fruit gum, juicy fruit stripe gum, any kind of candied fruit you can think of. That's the main thing on the nose. Candied, fruity, fruity, fruity. And that relays to the palate. Fruit stripe gum, candied fruits. There's a little bit of that jalapeno pepper. That pepperiness is there, but it's so complex and everything is so well integrated. It's way more fruity than the Talisker 10. So, is it better than the Talisker 10? It's different. Depending on my mood, again, they're both different. I really like Talisker 10. If I'm in the mood for a fruit bomb with that Talisker essence in it, then the Talisker 18 is the way to go. But I think the Talisker 18 is worth $130 to $150. If it starts getting more than that in my market, then yeah, candied fruits all day long in this 18. All right, I hope that was tolerable. And what am I going to do here? I have a couple of drops, right? So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to mix these all together here. And hats off to you all. Take care. And if you like the show, give it a thumbs up and look forward to the other reviews that I mentioned in the beginning. I will be doing them, but I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking, but they will happen sooner than later. So that's it. So take care, folks, and watch some Stooges.